Hello, and welcome back to the New London 30-Minute Podcast. Today we'll be talking about this upcoming NBA season. Gage, who do you think will win the championship this year?
I would like to see the Heat or the Nets because I think they had like the biggest and probably the best offseason, like how they signed and managed their players, like who they signed, who they kept, who they dropped, and like that's why I think I want to see one of those two.
That's a good pick. Gavin, what do you think?
I would like to see the Suns because last year they were doing amazing. They just got bumped out of the playoffs. I think that they'll do really good this year, coming back strong. Devin Booker, Chris Paul.
Yep, it's a good combination. DeAndre Ayton was on fire last year.
He was doing really good last year. I think Devin Booker and DeAndre
Ayton.
Ayton. I believe that those two, that combination right there, will be really hard to stop this year.
I can see that. I got the Lakers, but I'd like to see the Celtics win it. That's my team.
I don't think the Lakers will win.
Yeah, the Lakers aren't gonna win. I'm
No.
sorry. I mean, they have
the potential.
AD, LeBron, and Russell, but I don't think they're gonna be able to beat Kyrie, James, and Kevin Durant.
I could see it. I mean,
They have the potential, but I don't think they have the teamwork.
I could see it maybe if like someone's like not healthy during when playoffs come around, but in a 7-game series, I don't think so.
I think that's going to be the biggest factor. Who's going to stay healthy?
yeah, that's always
If-
been a problem.
Yeah, if the Nets can stay healthy, I think they can take down Giannis.
They can take down anyone. I mean, really, they're like the biggest injury-prone team because Kyrie, James, and Kevin all get injured very easily during the games, and it's quite frequently too.
Right. LaMelo Ball has been already starting off to a really hot season. Just the Hornets aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hornets
Mavericks
suck.
beat the Hornets 127-59
Wow.
last week.
Yeah,
It's also
Well, it is-
preseason, though.
It is the preseason, but that just leads to what's going on in the normal season.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Hornets are going to even get close to the playoffs.
No.
I think LaMelo Ball is going to have another great year, but them as a team isn't going to do very well.
I agree with that.
yeah, I can do that.
But what do you think about the 76ers with
The
Embiid?
Sixers, I think they need to just improve Simmons' shooting from mid-range, and then they can just spread the floor a bit more, and then they'll be way better because
Right.
defense knows that they're just going to attack the paint, and if they can just play off and not have a threat from the deep ball, they're going to, yeah, if they can just spread the floor a
That's
little
the
bit better.
biggest problem about the Sixers is that they don't really have to guard out by the three because they don't really have any real shooters.
Yeah,
But if Simmons can get a shot down, just not even just have a really good shot, just an average shot, that'll be really good for them.
Well, he's been in trade talks here recently.
Right.
yeah, it's been more, what am I trying to say?
Frequent.
Yeah, something like that.
I think. Have you seen Giannis? His shot's looking really good this year
It's
already.
looking better too.
Yeah. His three balls doing pretty good. Free throws are doing a lot better than last year.
Yeah,
He looks like an animal. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him.
no.
I don't think they've got the team for the championship, though.
Right.
Giannis
Yeah.
can only carry him so far.
I think that they're going to have to, if they do want to get another championship, they're going to have to trade, get somebody to help with the Giannis.
Yeah, like no offense to Chris Middleton or anything, but I think he's got to have a little bit more better teammates.
Yeah.
Mm,
Chris Middleton he's a pretty good, but I don't think he's enough
yeah,
to help.
he's a good
for the
offensive
championship.
threat, but defense, he's not really there.
Well, what about the Nuggets with Jokic?
Jokic, I think he's gonna go. I think they're gonna do pretty good if Jamal can stay healthy, but
I don't think he will.
Michael Porter Jr.
he
pretty
looked
good this year.
he got way better
This
from
is only
the
his
end of the year to
first,
the beginning.
third year maybe?
Yeah.
He's really young.
Yeah,
So is Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is still, 23?
I don't know.
no, he's like 25,
But he's still in his 20s.
Yeah,
Most players
early
go
20s.
like 30s, high 30s.
Yeah, he's under 30.
Yeah.
I think that he's gonna have an amazing his whole season, like his what's the word I'm looking for?
Career,
Career. Yeah, he's gonna have an amazing career.
yeah, he's. Yeah,
I
I
think
can see it.
Jason Tatum. He's
Yeah,
gonna show out really good this year.
he has a lot of potential.
He does.
I think he's going to be a top 10 player this year.
He might. If he
can see
can,
that.
if you can get like a little a teammate to help him out just a little bit, they have a pretty good shot at the playoffs.
If they
I
could find
think-
a true point guard, I feel like they
Mhm.
could.
Well,
go
they
a long
just
way.
got Dennis Schroeder to
Yeah,
go
but
with him and Jalen Brown.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Dennis Schroeder really is like a main point guard. I could see him as like coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Hmm. He
mean,
came
he-
off the bench for the Lakers, or did he
Right.
start last year?
He started last year at the beginning, and then he worked his way back to the bench.
I got you.
I think that the Mavericks are gonna do pretty good this year. They're looking pretty good already. They're looking pretty good already. I think that they're gonna go. I bet they'll make like second round of playoffs maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're gonna have enough potential besides Doncic.
Oh, yeah.
He's their only one. Maybe Porzingis, but
No, I think they just need to trade for a bigger guy besides Porzingis because he's not really doing anything. For a
Right.
big man, he can't do anything. He just shoots.
I don't think he's strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always hurt too.
Right.
Luka's been carrying the team since he came in the league, pretty much.
I don't think that they'll do very good.
What the Hawks and Trey Young made a nice run last year.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did, but I think that they're gonna figure out defense. Are gonna figure out they don't really have a whole lot of paint threat, so they're just gonna get some defenders out by the 3-point line.
They got John Collins down
And
low.
Right.
Clint Capella to grab the awards.
Yeah,
So who averaged the most last year? Like 15.1, right?
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Still, they can't really perform super well offensively in the paint. They're both pretty good defensively, but not very much offensively.
Yeah,
I think that the Thunder, my team, they're gonna do horrible.
they got a lot of first-round picks coming up.
All right.
So do the Rockets when they traded
Yeah.
James Harden. They got like 6 first-round picks, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. And the Rockets with John Wall, isn't it?
Yeah, we know. I
Yeah.
think he's gone.
Really?
I think he's a free agent.
Oh. Well, they don't really have any like stars, but no, they need a whole lot of stars. If they just have a bunch of average players, that's probably better than like having 1 or 2 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if you get 1 or 2 stars, like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, if you get 1 or 2 stars, then that's not as good as a whole lot of average people.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Cade Cunningham? Do you
I
think he's gonna have a good year?
I think you will.
Yeah. I have a feeling when you have no one else on your team, the Pistons, you really only can pass to a couple guys and
Right. Whose team
perform.
is he on?
Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
It's Pistons.
Well, they got Jeremiah Grant.
Yeah.
He had a good year last year.
He did. But besides him, who else did?
Nobody that I can think of.
Exactly.
I don't think they're going to do very well, the Pistons.
No.
They're pretty good, but I don't think they're good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the Bulls?
They had a good offseason too. Signing Alex Caruso,
Lonzo Ball.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah,
they've
DeMar
got
DeRozan was a big signing.
they've got a good sign. Lineup this year.
I think that I think they'll probably make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him making playoffs, but
I don't think they're going any further,
I could see him maybe getting to the second round and then getting out. But
depending on who they play.
yeah.
I think that the Celtics and Jason Tatum, we already talked about this, but Jalen Brown,
Mm-hmm.
he's actually pretty good.
He is.
He is.
He's really
pretty good.
underrated. They don't really think of him as very good.
Mm-hmm. He's a really good defender and
Mm-hmm.
improving on offense.
Right.
Yeah.
He was last year he did really good.
And then he was hurt and missed the
Right.
playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what killed the Celtics last year.
Yeah, Tatum pretty much put the team on his back the whole playoffs.
Yeah. What do you think about the 2021 Warriors since Klay Thompson's coming back?
I don't know. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 years. Kind of rough to judge how he's gonna be.
But I'm sure
Yeah.
he was still playing on the. I'm sure he was still grinding on the off season,
Yeah.
just getting better, getting healthy.
Yeah.
I think that he's gonna be. The Warriors are gonna do okay.
Yeah, I can see him doing okay, but
They don't really have anyone in the paint. They're
yeah,
just shooters. Whole
Mm.
big team of shooters.
Yeah. What about Draymond though?
he's getting old. Is only
Right. He's pretty old, and he can't get up there as he could. I think that Steph Curry is gonna have an amazing year again. I don't think he always never disappoints.
Let's say Seth or Steph.
Steph.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I'd make sure.
Yeah. What team is Seth on?
The 76ers.
Sixers.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's on the. He's a decent shooter too.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
I think if the Sixers can get just a couple more people that are like just okay,
They still have Tobias Harris.
right? And
Yeah.
he did pretty good last year during the postseason. He kind of started showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Just the rest of his other team got either hurt or just didn't show up.
Yeah, there's only really one more position they need for a good starting five, and that would be small forward. I mean,
Right.
they got Ben Simmons at the 1, Seth Curry at the 2, and then Tobias Harris and
Embiid.
Embiid at the 4 and 5. There's no 3 though. So
Jokic. I think he's gonna have an MVP year this year.
yeah,
I don't think he'll get it. I think Giannis will take it from him again, but he's gonna have an amazing year.
I don't know. MVP. That's a tough question. I'll give it to Luka.
yeah.
My
I
prediction.
definitely see Luka winning it. Him or KD, one of those two.
Yeah, but it's hard to have KD win it because he's got to pass the ball with James Harden and
Yeah.
Kyrie.
But I
As
mean,
long as
when
they're
you're 7
healthy.
foot and you can shoot the ball, and no one else can block it efficiently, you're most likely gonna score a lot.
That's gonna be the hardest thing about the Nets is just spreading the ball out more. Everyone's gonna want to score, especially James Harden. They're
Yeah.
just gonna want to score. They're not gonna spread the ball out as much.
Yeah, but whoever's hot, they're going to give the ball to the most, and they're just
Right.
going to shoot.
If Kyrie can stay healthy, Kyrie is usually the one who always gets injured.
Yeah,
I don't think he's had one year that's he actually stayed healthy all the way through.
probably not.
Besides maybe the 2016 Cavaliers.
Yeah. Besides maybe when he was with the Cavs.
That was about it. Speaking of the Cavs, they have Colin Sexton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He actually did pretty good last year.
You did.
Him and Darius Garland.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. And then Jared Allen coming through the end.
What about Kevin Love?
No.
Didn't he play pretty well last
He's
year?
too old.
He did okay, and then fell off.
Yeah, he can't shoot at all anymore. Or he still can, but not as efficient.
Yeah.
And he's not as efficient. He's not as efficient in the paint too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because he's getting older, and you can't really do anything else.
Who'd they take in the draft this year? Didn't they get someone pretty good?
I think it's something Evan Mobley, I think, they took.
Yeah, that sounds right. Center.
Mm.
He's a big, tall dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's built exactly like Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson, I think that he's not going to do very good.
I mean, he's the primary scorer on the Pelicans.
Right.
So, I mean, he's kind of have to do good, otherwise we suck.
I think if you've seen pictures from him this year, he's put on a lot of weight,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like muscle. It doesn't look like muscle.
Well, they got Brandon Ingram. He had a pretty solid year last year.
Right. He's like sort of a KD, but he's a little shorter.
He's
He's
a
that
little,
really like long.
he's a little less effective.
Right, but he's still really long.
Mm.
If he can get a good shot down, and good move to the paint, he'd be really good.
Yeah.
Pelicans would be have a lot
Good
of
team.
potential. Yeah. The Heat, I think. Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
Is he still on the Heat?
Yep. Just signed a deal this
And-
year, too.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have a really good year.
Yeah.
Who else do they got over there? I know they got
They
Tyler
have,
Hero.
They've got
Yeah.
Kyler Lowry,
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo, and there's one more I'm thinking of. I can't think of it. Oh, Victor Oladipo. He's still
Mhm.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
They got a good team.
Yeah, they've got a solid team. Just can't think of the
They
power
do have a
forward
really
right
good solid team. They just need to stay healthy. That's
now. Mhm.
almost all those people get injured and out for the season. And then they got this second strings. They get in. They just not as efficient.
Yeah, they can't perform at the level they're supposed to.
Right. I think Victor Oladipo, he just came off of a injury, didn't he, last year?
I don't
A
know.
couple years ago, he had ACL. He came back and had a really good year. I think he's gonna have a pretty good year this year.
He had a good year with the Pacers,
Mhm.
and then for the Heat, he didn't really perform.
I think that Kyle Lowry, he's pretty average, isn't he? When he
Yeah.
was on the
Raptors.
Raptors, yeah, with him and DeMar DeRozan, that two used to be a really good combination.
Yeah. What about I just lost it. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Who do you think is the better team out of the two LA teams, the Clippers or the
Oh,
Lakers?
I was going to ask you about the Clippers and Kawhi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that Kawhi is going to have another breakout year. He's going to do really good, but they're just not going to have the team.
You think Paul George can stay healthy?
If he can, those two are going to be really hard to stop.
Yeah.
If those two can stay healthy, like he's saying, they can be a decent team. But I mean, they don't have a point guard
Mm-hmm.
and a center, but they have the two.
Yeah.
Kawhi can switch back between either one, a small forward or power forward. So, isn't
I think that they're going to do.
yeah
I'll bet the Clippers, I'll bet they'll make it to the playoffs just with those two if they stay healthy.
yeah
I think that they'll make it to the playoffs, but they're not going to go far.
yeah I can see that.
They play good teams in the playoffs. They're just going to shut those two down.
Mm.
It's just going to be whoever scores more because Kawhi, obviously, they have all their players have pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of who scores more.
So, who do you think's gonna win it all?
I got the Lakers.
Bring it back to that again.
Lakers. Yep. Well, why the Lakers?
So they've got a good, solid, all-around team, starters and bench. LeBron, AD.
I know that for sure they have like the best like depth of any team.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go all the way.
I
Who do
can
you
see
think?
them. I mean, now
I can see them get to the championship, but I don't think they'll win it.
what is the finals you guys want to see? Like who?
I want to
against-
see the Suns and Bucks, and I
Suns
want
and
to see the
Bucks.
Suns win it.
again.
Yes.
This is pretty biased. I like the Celtics, but I want to see the Celtics
Yeah.
for sure.
Celtics versus.
Just anything over the Bucks. I don't really. I like Giannis. I love Giannis, but I don't want the Bucks to win. I don't think they will win it.
But I think it would be cool to see the Clippers win a championship.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, they haven't won for a while, so
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bucks. If all they have to do is really just stop Giannis, get like Kawhi.
yeah,
if
but
they,
that's way
Right.
that's way harder than it sounds. I mean,
Yeah.
even Kawhi can't really even stop
Right.
him.
but you can slow him down. They get Kawhi and Clippers, and they all stay healthy. I feel like that'd be a pretty good upset.
I mean, there's really like no one else to guard him.
All right.
I mean, you got, let's say they go against the Lakers in the finals. You can't put AD against him. He's too he's too slow.
Mm-hmm.
Can't put LeBron against him. You'll just size him up.
Right.
So there's really like no one else against the perfect matchup.
Right.
You just got to get a goon, like in hockey.
Mm.
Just mess with Giannis the whole game and try to fight him, take him out.
I think Colin Sexton, if he was a little bit bigger, he could do decent, but he just wouldn't get him.
Yeah.
Colin Sexton is an amazing defender. He's
Yeah.
just if they pass the ball, he's just kind of over. None of his teammates really have defense at all.
Yeah. That's kind of how like most teams are. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Hornets. There's really no one else besides LaMelo. And
LaMelo.
you can't play the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks only got Luka,
Right.
and the Hawks aren't too good defensively. Like
Mm-hmm.
with guards, maybe the paint.
They can get rebounds and they can play pretty good defense in the paint,
Yeah.
but out
Out on
in the
the
open,
perimeter.
I don't think they'll do
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I think if you could just get Trey Young, better defense, then he would be like that perfect all-around guard
Mm-hmm.
because he can handle, he can shoot. I mean, he does basically all of it besides defense.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
There's the Rockets, Jalen Green. I think he's got a ton of potential.
Yeah,
I think that he just needs to.
all the incoming rookies do. I mean,
Right.
they're all projected to do really good
Mhm.
and bring their team up by like at least 5 different wins.
This draft year was an amazing year. There's so many
Yeah, there
people
was.
that can they're just everything. Good at everything.
Yeah, besides like 3 solid players, there was like 7 and just all-around depth in that.
Right. And the Kings, who'd the Kings get this year? 'Cause I know they were down there, so
Yeah,
they had to have gotten a pretty high pick.
I know that I don't think they got really anyone.
Really.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but
They got De'Aaron Fox.
that's really it.
I don't think they have anybody else. And
Yeah.
if De'Aaron Fox isn't really a whole lot good.
He's pretty fast.
Right.
Runs fast
That's
in the league.
kind of it.
Yeah, if I was the Kings, I would just trade,
just-
see if I can get who I can get for him,
Mhm.
and then after that, just try to rebuild.
He's really athletic, super athletic, but but he just won't produce.
He's kind of clumsy with the ball. I mean, there's a lot of turnovers. There's just not too much scoring.
Who do you think is the best franchise ever? Lakers or Celtics?
Franchise ever
Mhm.
would probably be the Celtics.
Lakers.
Might be the Celtics. I mean,
Lakers.
they've got. I think they might got the most championships.
It's tied, 17 apiece.
17.
If you count the LeBron one, some people don't really like to
Yeah.
count that. But
Like ever, I would say the Celtics, but like prime, like if you had all the best players on a team and they went against each other, I would say the Lakers
The Lakers
Yeah.
will win.
because they just have an all-around better history. But franchise-wise, I would have to say Celtics.
Have you guys heard about the Kyrie Irving and the Nets? He can't play because
Yeah.
he's not vaccinated.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know
he
why.
refused to get vaccinated.
Hmm.
He's gonna have to go somewhere to play.
what do you think's gonna happen with that? You think he's gonna give in with the vaccine, or what do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, he kind of has to, otherwise he won't be able to.
Right.
His whole life will be basically thrown away if he doesn't do one
Well,
thing.
he can only really play at New York because it's only New York that makes people get vaccinated if they
Yeah.
like play. It's like that's the New York.
I mean,
Knicks.
who else is gonna want a skinny 6'1" guard?
Right.
I mean, basically every team has that
Mm-hmm.
somewhere on the lineup.
Somewhere in the lineup with its second string, but Kyrie Irving isn't just a normal 6'1" guard. He can get past defenders with ease. He's just in the paint.
Yeah.
But he's destroyed everywhere he's left. The Cavs and
Right.
the Celtics, and he's causing mayhem right now with the
Mhm.
Nets.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics bring it back to the Lakers. We haven't talked about Russell Westbrook at all. Coming back
Not
to the
really.
Lakers,
We haven't.
I think he's gonna do pretty good since he actually has people coming.
Mhm.
People he has actually teammates that he can pass to.
Yeah.
But I think him and LeBron are just gonna be fighting for rebounds, assists,
Yeah.
just trying to get triple doubles.
I'm feeling like he's not gonna do too good scoring wise, but with like assists and rebounds, I can see him doing better.
I think they're gonna work well together.
I think they will just even it out, start doing good.
Mhm.
But during the postseason, I think that they're just gonna sort of fall apart.
All they really have to do is just figure out like their roles as a team, like who's a
Right.
scorer, who's the passer, who's gonna handle the
Rebounder,
ball
yeah.
most. It's just you gotta figure that out early so they can get better.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem about the Lakers.
Yeah.
They're just finding out roles. Everyone's just super selfish.
Mm. Like I mean, the Wizards they got a lot. They got solid pieces for
Mhm.
trading away Russell because I know they still have Bradley Beal. They got Kuzma,
Hmm.
and I know they got someone else
Bradley Beal.
in the
Bradley-
trade.
Oh, I just on the
I
team.
know they got 2 picks and 2 players.
Me. So who is your favorite player of all time?
My favorite player of all time's got to be Larry Bird, Larry Legend.
He's not that good, Baron.
He's not.
Best player of all time.
No.
No, he's not.
No.
Yes,
No.
Okay, so how is he? Why would you say he's the best?
He's all around, Mr. Hustle, best player of all time.
No,
No.
he wasn't that good defensively.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
No, not really.
Yes.
He could shoot mid range and threes.
You've seen his passes?
Right, and assists.
They were
but
next level.
Okay, is there any
Magic
defensive
Johnson.
highlights from him?
What?
Is there any defensive highlights?
What about the Pistons game in the Eastern Conference Championship? He tipped the pass and threw it like diving out of bounds to Dennis Johnson,
That's just hustle.
and he banked it in for the win to send him
that's
to
just
the
hustle.
championship. He blocked the pass though.
Yeah,
That's defense.
I could see that, but
Right.
why? Like, why would you say like that's
would you
not
s-
really it? Because Michael Jordan, most people would say,
Yeah.
is the
Why would
best.
you put Larry
And
Bird
he's
over
got-
Michael Jordan?
He can score. He could play defense. He could basically do it all.
He could take it to the
besides
paint.
shoot the 3.
The
Yeah.
80s was much harder to play basketball than the 90s.
Jordan played in the 80s.
Yeah, he played. in
Did he
the
win a
80s.
championship? I
No,
don't think
because he was the only one on that team.
Yeah.
Larry Bird literally had Kevin McHale.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the best teams ever.
And others.
Okay. Yeah, one of the best teams ever in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
80s is the best generation of basketball. There's so many good teams.
No, 90s was.
Not even close.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Outside the Bulls, who were the good teams?
Lakers.
Lakers.
That's a different time. That's late 90s.
Jazz.
That's still the 90s.
Okay.
The Jazz.
And the
The
Jazz.
Pistons were also really good.
That was barely in the 90s. Barely.
That's still,
Still
the
the
90s.
90s.
Their prime was in the 80s.
It's still in the 90s, man.
No.
Yeah, it
Still
was.
in the 90s.
What about the Lakers? The 86-87 Lakers, the greatest basketball team ever. Without a
Okay.
doubt.
It was on it.
Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, James Worthy, AC Green, and Kareem.
All right.
And
Yeah.
Michael Cooper come
Did
off
the
the
Celtics
bench.
beat them?
No, the Lakers won the championship that
Exactly.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Maybe possibly being the best lineup of all time.
year. Okay, who do you think's the best
What
team
about
of
the
all time?
what about the 95-96 Bulls?
No, the Lakers would absolutely destroy them.
Right, but what about the Celtics? You're really taking the Celtics, best Celtics team, not best Celtics team of all time, but like take their best year, like with Larry Bird in them, and take their best year with Michael Jordan in them. Who do you think's gonna win?
The Celtics, without a doubt.
Why?
Because their team is much better.
Who's all on the
Explain.
team?
Explain.
Oh, who's in the team? Oh,
Yes, who's on the team?
Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish.
I only know two people right there. I don't really study the Celtics at all, but not as much as you.
And they had Bill Walton come off the bench. That's
Okay, but-
5 Hall of Famers
Right.
right there.
That's why they won, because they had so many Hall of Famers.
Well, I mean, Bill Walton wasn't too
You're
good.
saying Larry
Wow.
Bird's the best player of all time, but he had, as you're saying, one of the best teams of all time. And Michael Jordan had one of the best teams of all time for 3 years. Then they just all left, and he still won championships without them.
What are you talking about?
He still won championships without them.
Bro, he won a championship with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and Horace Grant. You talking about no team? What are you talking about?
Yeah, but so did Larry Bird. That's the only reason why he won the finals.
No. Gavin, I don't respect your opinion whatsoever. I prefer it if you'd leave the show.
No.
What do you think, Gage? You think Gavin should be kicked off?
Not kicked off, but I mean, I can see where he's coming from. Like the Bulls versus the Celtics. Those three guys, Larry Bird,
Yeah, he only had
Kevin
three
McHale,
guys.
and Robert Parrish. I mean, they've got basically everyone else to guard him. Those
Well-
three guys, it would mainly be down between the center, or the point guard. Whoever doesn't have an all timer on them.
Well, I got a question. If you were to put Larry Bird and Michael Jordan's team to win the championship, and you put Michael Jordan on the Celtics, do you think each one would win a
They
championship?
both would have.
I don't think the Michael Jordan would have. I
They-
guarantee
yes, he
the
would've.
Celtics would
Yes,
have.
no. Celtics definitely would have won one if Michael Jordan was on their team instead of Larry Bird.
No, they
Yes.
would not have.
Yeah. If prime Michael Jordan was on the Celtics when Larry Bird was, they could have won more than one for sure.
Well, the
Easily.
Celtics won 2.
Yeah, and I guarantee they could do a three-peat again.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, the Celtics had five Hall of Famers right there on their team, and the Bulls had 3?
Yeah.
No, they had more than that, I think.
They had 4, if that.
Probably. But they were out of the prime, the Hall of Famer, like Bill Walton. He was way out of his prime. He was come off the bench.
Yeah.
Still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I get whatever you want to say, bro.
What about LeBron? LeBron or Michael Jordan?
I'll take LeBron every day. Every day of the week.
I don't know.
But,
no.
All right. This has been the New London 30-Minute Podcast. Thank you for watching.
That's horrible, man.
You really had to say